What robots?
Look in the tunnel.
Spoon, I just came from that tunnel. Then what robots are you talking about?
The goddamn robots, John!
What's going on, y'all? The reviewer is here, and I'm back to give y'all this movie review of I, Robot. This movie here is a science fiction action film that was directed by Alex Proyas. I believe that's how you pronounce it. This came out in 2004, and this stars Will Smith. This was one of my personal favorite movies that he made, and believe me, Will Smith has plenty of other films out there that came out around this time frame. This movie here is after the novel that came out back in the 50s or something like that. There was a book that did came out, and it's after that book. So this is the Blu-ray version right here, and I was so anticipated to watch this movie a long time ago, man. What I'm gonna do from now on with movie reviews, y'all gonna see like clips of it on this video. So I try to keep it short to where it's not too long where I might get a copyright. So I'm trying to avoid that. This movie stars Will Smith as Detective Dale Spooner, Bridget Moynahan as Dr. Susan Calvin, Bruce Greenwood as Lawrence Robertson, or he's the CEO of USR, James Cromwell as Dr. Alfred Lannan. He was also the co-founder of USR. He was like the investor or the creator. Then Shy McBride is Lieutenant John Burgeon. He was the supervisor of Detective Spooner. And then Alan Tudyk, I think that's how it's pronounced. And he voiced Sonny, who is the robot on this movie. All right, so let me zoom it in a little bit. You should be able to see all this stuff. All right. So the movie starts off with the 3 laws of how the robot is operated. You know, they're called the 3 laws of robotics or whatnot. And this takes place in the year 2035. They had some type of dream about a robot in the water doing some stuff. And then that's when Detective Spooner woke up, and he's like a homicide detective. He's, you know, for the Chicago Police Department. What happened, he came through to investigate a murder who was Dr. Alfred Lannan. And USR means US Robotics, or United States Robotics, I believe. Dr. Lannan fell to his death from his window, and he left like a message to Spooner to be the main guy that to be assigned to the case. That's when he tried to talk to Bruce Greenwood character, who is Lawrence Robertson. He was a little hesitant to let him investigate the case because I guess he realized that Spooner is pretty smart, or he thinks outside the box. He don't just typically think, by the rules. So later on, he got introduced to the lady named Dr. Susan Calvin.
Lawrence told me to accommodate you in any way possible.
Really? Okay.
She's kind of like an assistant, or she plays along with the artificial intelligence. So now he's trying to figure out what's going on with Lannan and why would he kill himself all of a sudden. And then they had this thing called Vicky, that means virtual interactive kinetic intelligence. So Spooner's trying to investigate Lannan's falling out the window from the security footage, but unfortunately it was deleted prior to it happening.
Why would you kill yourself?
That, detective, is the right question.
Spooner believes there's AI involved in this because he believes that Dr. Lannan didn't kill himself. And Dr. Calvin is one of those females, one of those ladies that that's smart, but not, what's the word? Like she's book smart, but she's not thinking more outside the box like he is.
You are the dumbest smart person I have ever met in my life.
Nice.
So once one of the robots came out of there, they're called NS5s, he realized that he could have possibly been killed by a robot. And then his supervisor, Lieutenant John Burgeon, doesn't believe that robots will kill people. So as time passed through, he found a robot in a room. And you got to think, there's a room of hundreds, thousands of robots out there. He found a special robot that he was looking for. So, a little action going on. That's when they finally capture the robot, who is Sonny. That's his name.
What am I?
So I don't want to get too deep into it. So I say one more part. When they captured Sonny, Spooner pretty much begged Lieutenant Burgeon to chat with the robot, just to see what's going on. So when Spooner speaks with Sonny, he tried to figure out why Lannon killed himself. I'm saying that in quotes. I like that part when he says,
Can a robot turn a canvas into a beautiful masterpiece?
Can you?
but he wasn't asking it to be a smart ass. He was asking it like out of curiosity, but it sounds like he was being one. After they exchanged some words, he learned that the robot can actually have feelings, like express anger and frighten, instead of just being the typical robot that doesn't think like that. So I'm going to stop there because I don't want to bring out too many spoilers. And by now you should have seen some of the clips that was presented on the movie. So for me to explain this movie, I think this is probably one of my personal favorite films. If y'all also know how I am, I love movies that's based in the future too. So like movies that's based in the future, I always love those because it's really amazing what they created in the future. And we can pretty much see what's being created now. It's the year 2024, and you can see some of the technologies that's being developed with the AIs and the robots that's performing these work tasks. And another part that amazes me, when he was driving a self So he wasn't driving it, it was self-driving it itself. I believe we're starting to have those things now. So to make this overall rating, I think this is a really good film for those that may want to understand the AI of artificial intelligence, about the things that's going on. And like I said, this takes place in the year 2035. And I honestly believe that we're getting closer and closer to the future where a lot of the AIs is going to take over people's jobs. This is one of them films that I think a lot of y'all should peep. I wouldn't necessarily say this movie is a classic per se, but I will say this is a movie that's worth watching, especially if you're a Will Smith fan. Will Smith was doing his thing, man, especially around this time frame. It's like, how can you hate Will Smith? Now, I'm not even going to get into what happened with him and Chris Rock, so I'm not even going to mention it. If you can dismiss that, Will Smith actually laid a legacy for his films. He will always be remembered for the movies that he produced or he made over the years. One of my favorite scenes off of the movie is when he's talking to his supervisor about the robots.
What robots?
Look in the tunnel.
Spoon, I just came from that tunnel. Then what robots are you talking about?
The goddamn robots, John!
I always thought that part was funny, man. The goddamn robots, John. That was so funny to me, man. Like, he was just pissed that nobody believed him. Another scene that I like too is when he was explaining to Dr. Calvin about the robot that he encountered back then.
Sarah. This was hers. She wanted to be a dentist.
So you've seen some of the clip, and he's just explaining about what made him had a little serious disdain for robots. And then I'll have one more scene, which was a favorite of mine too, is when he's talking with the robot in the interrogation room. And they're just exchanging words. Like I said, it's just on some anger expressions.
Hell, I don't want my toaster or my vacuum cleaner appearing emotional.
I did not murder him!
But I like this film though. I can watch this movie all the time. I even had my little man watch it too, and even he liked it. He's like, I want to watch this again, you know, blah, blah, blah. So if you get the Blu-ray, you can see it on here. It has the special features such as the red button scene, green button scene, yellow button, blue. And then it also has like some deleted scenes on here and commentaries, you know, stuff like that you will get on the Blu-ray. And of course, I believe this movie is on the streams, but I always want to like watch it for myself and not depend on streams all the time. Shout out to the director for directing this film. Shout out to Will Smith. Shout out to all the actors and actresses who was a part of this film. To add my 2 cents, I'm going to start making more movie reviews where it includes the clips off of the film. So that way it won't just be me talking. You can actually see what's being presented from the movies that I may review. All right. So be on the lookout for that. Some more things. All right. And I have not forgot about the video that I said I was going to present. So we'll see how everything works out. If you'd like to watch this movie, I'm sure it's on the streams, or you can probably rent it if you want to watch it that way. I don't know. Shout out to all the people who was a part of this film and the whole 9 yards. Much love to the real folks, and I'll be on here back with another review. All right. Peace out, guys.